The Last Dinner Party. I love them. I think they are fantastic. I don't know what is not to like about an all-female and non-binary band that has rock and guitar riffs, super catchy melodies that just stick in your mind all day, and a vocalist that is just incredibly talented. Like, what is there not to like? But there are some people on the internet who are saying that this band is an industry plant.
The most light-hearted way possible. There's a lot of people online and they keep saying, are you an industry plant? What do you have to say to those people out there saying that?
No.
Because surely an all-female band that regularly calls out misogynists and basically talks about how terrible the patriarchy is couldn't have made it all the way to the top by themselves, right? Like, they couldn't win Brit's Rising Stars all by themselves. It had to have been some type of, I don't know, master plan. Well, I'm gonna get to the bottom of these allegations today, and we're gonna look at a lot of different things, and it's gonna be fun, perhaps controversial, maybe a little bit uncomfortable even. But I do just want to mention, like, before we get into anything, that being in the music industry, there's a lot worse things that you can be accused of. Like, you could be this guy. Or you can be accused of biting off the head of a bat on a live performance. Yes, Ozzy, that was just for comical purposes, and I think you're actually really entertaining. Or you can create an HBO show that is so unanimously hated that it gets canceled before the show even ends. Which, how does that even happen? And I did bring that one up for comedic purposes, but I do stand by the fact that that show was just absolutely
garbage trash.
All right, all jokes aside, let's go ahead and actually investigate whether or not The Last Dinner Party is or is not an industry plant.
Perfect.
According to Google, an industry plant is a derogatory term for a musician who appears to gain popularity through wealth, nepotism, inheritance, or connections in the music industry rather than their own merits. We can look at Dixie D'Amelio for an example.
Sometimes I don't wanna be happy.
And by the way, this is not to knock her at all. I actually like that song. As much as it may make some of you not trust my judgment of music, it's a catchy song.
Don't hold it against me.
But yeah, because she has super wealthy parents and because she has a sister who is already famous on TikTok, maybe one of the most famous people on TikTok for a season, you can probably make the claim that she is an industry plant. So with this Google definition, I guess it makes sense that we scrutinize and we look up every single one of the members in The Last Dinner Party, and we speculate wildly about what type of connections that they have in order to discredit all of their talent and their hard work. I really hope that you're catching the sarcasm here, because if you're not, this video is gonna have an entirely different meaning for you than it does for everyone else. So first up, we got Abigail Morris. She's the lead singer of the band and has incredible range, as well as a very energizing stage presence. And guess what I found in my research about Abigail's parents? Literally nothing. Nothing at all. Couldn't find a single thing. And guess what else? I couldn't find a single thing about any of these band members' parents. I couldn't find anything on Lizzie Mayland, who is the rhythm guitarist and backup vocals. I couldn't find anything on Emily Roberts, the lead guitarist. Nothing on Georgia Davies, the bass player. And I'm going to totally butcher this name, but I also didn't find anything on Aurora Neshevsky. I'm sorry. I can't pronounce that last name. I apologize. So yeah, it seems a little suspicious to me not being able to find a single thing about any one of these parents. Clearly, they must be trying to cover something up. What are you hiding from us? What are you hiding from us, The Last Dinner Party? How dare you respect your family members enough not to post their names publicly all over the internet so we can see exactly how much money they make? Or here's a different take. Maybe I couldn't find anything because their parents do not have connections to the music industry, and their parents aren't filthy rich. Could that be the case? Could it be that they're just a group of talented souls who found each other and wanted to change the music industry without having extremely rich parents who have connections to the music industry who influence their way into it? Could it be that this all-female band just rocks their socks off on their own accord? Oh, what did I just say? All right. But what about the other definition of an industry plant? Because I know some of you are going to bring it up. The definition that implies that an artist, or in this case, a band, didn't form organically, but instead a record label basically had all these different musicians, and they're like, you, and you're gonna all be a part of a thing, and then they create their image and create their specific sound and style without any of the musicians having any control over it, to basically then sell as a product to the masses. And I just gotta say, if that's the definition of an industry plant that we're gonna go with, then isn't the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, One Direction, Destiny's Child, they're all industry plants. And if they're all industry plants, does that mean that bangers like Bye 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 is no longer a banger anymore? Do we now hate that song because it's possible that a record label may have had more creative decision making in producing that song than the actual artists themselves? Does the song suck now? I really don't think so, and I'm gonna get back to that here in a second, but we gotta get back onto whether or not The Last Dinner Party is a industry plant. So just because I couldn't find any information about these band members' parents doesn't necessarily imply that I couldn't find any information about some record label putting all these members together for their own greedy intentions of making millions and millions of dollars. That would be easy to find. I could find it easily, right? We're gonna find out that Abigail was featured on a One Direction song in the background, and some record label knew about that and then found Lizzie Mayland and was like, hey, here's a guitarist for you, and then they put them all together like Lego pieces to then exploit. That's gonna be easy to find, right? Right? Wrong. Terribly wrong. It's so wrong. How dumb of me. How dumb of me to think that maybe some of these allegations could have been true and accurate, and not just some people mad on the internet about the fact that this all-female band rose to the top incredibly quickly while they're still struggling for over a decade trying to fill a venue with just 100 people. So then they go onto the internet and they rage net all about it. Rage netting. It's like rage quitting, but instead of playing video games, you just like get mad and post all over the internet about other people's success and how it's not real and rage nutting. So here's what I did find while I tried to research how this band came about, how they formed, how they became a team. It basically goes something like this, right? Georgia Davies and Lizzie Mayland were out one night and they were just, they were trying to have some liquids or find some liquids, just trying to have some college fun. They run into Abigail Morris and they immediately bond over the fact that they love music and they play music as well. Not too long after that, they found friendship with Emily Roberts and with Aurora Nishives. Again, I can't pronounce that last name, I'm sorry. So basically, here's what happened. It was just a bunch of young college age individuals who all played music that became friends, and then one day they were like, hey, we should start a band. And then they did. It is as plain, simple, boring, and stupid as that. No big scheme, no big record label having their hands all up in them, twisting them, molding them, telling them exactly what to do and what sound to create and what lyric to put here. None of that. And then you have these people on the internet that are like, well, how do they create so many hit songs all within a short amount of time? Which, first off, I gotta say that question in and of itself is just offensive. Think of Young the Giant. They make a lot of hits. They have a lot of great songs and they make it relatively in a short amount of time. But is anybody questioning how they do that? Are they not questioning Young the Giant because it's just a band full of dudes? No, when Young the Giant makes an album, they lock themselves together for a duration of time and they're just solely focusing on that without any other thing going on. And if we look at when The Last Dinner Party met, look at the dates. It's like 2020. 2019, 2021. What was going on in the world at that time? Could it be that everybody was at home? Everybody just honed in on their skills and their talents? And could it be that that's exactly what this band did? Because it is. That's exactly what The Last Dinner Party did. Abigail Morris confirms this in an interview. Basically says that because of all the lockdowns, before they ever even played their first show, they had a very, very long time to rehearse and nail down the exact image and style that they wanted to go for. Again, plain, simple, stupid, and boring as that. So I couldn't find any hard evidence that The Last Dinner Party is an industry plant, but I did find hard evidence that they aren't. You ready for it? You want to know what it is? You want me to show you right now? You want to see? Here we go. The YouTube channel Lou Smith has footage of the band's third performance that they ever performed. That was a bad sentence. That's okay. Go watch those videos yourself. They're really good. I'm gonna put them down in the description down below. But you'll see that the band is playing a lot of the same songs that we hear them play today. But guess what? They didn't get signed to Island Records until 2023. This means, if we connect all the dots here, that they wrote these songs before ever having any connection with a record label. That's the facts. How are you going to argue with that? You can't. You can't argue with that. So The Last Dinner Party is not an industry plant. And even if they were, then the industry did something right for once. I guess they did something right when they put NSYNC and Backstreet Boys together, as well as Destiny's Child, right? But they haven't really done anything good in a very long time. And I think the point that I'm trying to make is that even if a group of individuals is an industry plant, that doesn't negate the fact that they can sing. That doesn't negate the fact that they've learned those instruments and they can play really well. Right? In the same way that Apple creates a product like the iPhone or a MacBook, a record label might make a product in the form of a band. And if it's good, then great. I don't see the problem with it. If it's good music, then it's good music, you know? Like, stop harboring so much bitterness. Learn to enjoy. Learn to enjoy what you hear. I enjoy 85% of what I hear. And I really don't know how to end this video in any other way than basically saying, thank you for watching.